2026 is gonna be a big one for Pokemon. We've had a couple of much quieter years in 24 and 25, but I think things are about to get pretty crazy over the next 12 months. 2026 is the 30th anniversary of the franchise. That makes me feel incredibly old because I remember Pokemon starting off. The first episode of the anime, the first games, Pokemania sweeping the world. And that was 30 years ago? My knees are cracking extra loud today. So what are we in for? What has the big 2026 got in store for us Pokemon fans? The biggest thing is the new mainline Pokemon games. And they will be the 10th generation of mainline Pokemon games. The 10th generation on the 30th anniversary. It all lends itself to something really huge. We're expecting a lot of bells and whistles with these new games. Some sort of celebration for this big milestone for Pokemon. They're going to be on the new Nintendo Switch 2 system. I think that's a fair assumption to make. I can't imagine them crushing these games down onto the regular Switch as well. The Switch 2 will have been out for a year and a half by the time these games will likely release. I have every confidence that there will be a limited edition Gen 10 Switch 2 as well. We've had special edition consoles for most of the mainline games on Switch. So realistically, it's going to be a Switch 2 exclusive, isn't it? The most recent game, Legends CA, gave us a snapshot of what Pokemon games can be elevated to look and play like on that new system. We've also had an extra year between generations this time around. An extra year that is needed now, let's be honest. We're not making games for purely handheld systems anymore. These are home console releases now. But it also does seem like the Pokemon Company are shifting things around and putting extra connections in place so that the whole machine can keep running at a pace close enough to how it historically always has. The Pokemon Works being a prime example, a joint venture between the Pokemon Company and ILCA. I can imagine us seeing Game Freak almost exclusively focusing their efforts on the mainline titles, and sort of outsourcing the bulk of other projects to those subsidiaries. I'm excited for Gen 10 though. I think especially when we know that a new generation is going to be coming to a new system, there's this extra buzz and anticipation around it. I know the Switch 2 is just a better Switch for all intents and purposes, but the difference it will make to Pokemon games should be a sharp one. Legends ZA is a clear improvement on Scarlet and Violet. Yes, crappy textures on buildings were an annoying thing, but I feel like that might have been because they had to release it on the regular Switch as well. They've had to make those sacrifices so that it doesn't run like crap on the Switch 1. After Scarlet and Violet, that could not happen again. Gen 10 shouldn't have that problem, because surely it will be Switch 2 exclusive. It's going to be interesting to see to what extent Game Freak will go the extra mile with Gen 10, with it being this big milestone on a big anniversary year. I am more excited for this generation's reveal than I have been for pretty much any other game reveal in Pokemon. That could come back to haunt me, absolutely, because I'm doing that thing you should never do with Pokemon, and getting my hopes up, setting my expectations high. If there's one generation where they truly deliver on high expectations though, you would expect it to be Generation 10. They've probably been planning this generation for years and years. So we'll see what happens there. 2026 is also the year where competitive Pokemon could be about to change forever. Pokémon Champions is due to drop at some point in 2026, and then be used as the official software for the World Championships. And quite probably, although it hasn't been explicitly 100% confirmed yet, the vehicle for competitive Pokemon, VGC, for the foreseeable future. It does say on the official website, starting in 2026, so that would heavily imply that, yeah, this is the VGC platform going forward. That's huge. This is going to get so many people into VGC. It's going to make the whole thing so much more accessible. I've even got a couple of non-mainline Pokemon friends IRL who are willing to be roped into some private battles on here. I've sold them on it because they don't have to play a whole mainline game to get started. And it makes so much sense. Having a central hub, a dedicated platform for competitive Pokemon battling, rather than it being haphazardly baked into a sub-menu of each mainline game. This is just so much simpler and clearer. Plus, if it's going to be around for years and years to come, it can keep getting periodical updates, with new stadiums and new accessories, and most impactfully, new Pokemon. If a handful of Pokemon keep getting added every so often, eventually, this game will be the game where every Pokemon is available to battle with. It could be the one Pokemon game immune from Dexit. I really hope that happens, because imagine the freedom that will create for team building. I keep saying this game will be my new obsession. I honestly fear for the amount of hours I'll put in. I've been looking for a reason to consistently live stream over on Twitch again, and this is probably going to be it. So yeah, drop a follow over there and we'll hang out and throw some games. To be fair, I have been playing the odd few games on Pokemon Showdown. After attending EUIC last year, I caught the competitive Pokemon bug, and I did spend a little time familiarising myself with how VGC sort of plays out. But I'm just waiting for everything to swap over to Pokemon Champions before I full send it, you know? It's going to be a good time. Hopefully that's going to be dropping very soon, because as I mentioned, it is going to be the official software used for Worlds 2026, which will be at the end of August, so you'd think there would be a decent 3 or 4 month bedding in period at least, for players to get acquainted and settled into the new game. I keep forgetting about Pokopia coming out this year too. I think I just forget about that one because I'm clearly not the demographic for this spin-off game. It's more of a cozy farming sim type game. I'll probably just occasionally live vicariously through other people with this one. But if you're into that kind of thing, this is a game that I feel has been a long time coming. This genre does lend itself to Pokemon pretty well. Also, it is that time of year again where I put on my fanciest hopium hat and pray for Pokemon ports for the Nintendo eShop. I think this year has the highest possibility for older game ports, 30th anniversary. I think the last ports we got were around the 20th anniversary actually as well. I'm actually wondering now if they could come to the eShop, or if there would be a collection also released as a physical game. A few franchises are doing that recently. A physical release with Gens 1 to 3 on the cartridge would be pretty cool. I get my hopes up every year, and every year it doesn't happen. But if there's any year that just works and makes sense, it's this one for sure. The Pokemon Day Presents is surely going to be packed with announcements this year. It's probably the most excited I've been about a Pokemon Presents in a long time. If I was to make some general predictions, I think Gen 10 will of course get its reveal trailer. I think it'll be an extended release trailer compared to previous generations, purely because of the significance of it being the 10th generation. I think a really big spectacle will be made out of it. I think Pokemon Champions will get a final trailer and a release date that's only a few weeks after Pokemon Day, maybe even only a couple of weeks, along with some info on the first regulation rule set for the first competitive season on there. Ports for Gens 1 to 3 is my hopeful prediction, with maybe a summer 2026 release for those. And just as a bonus prediction, I think there'll be a new Pokemon movie. I think I predicted that a year or two ago as well. But yeah, surely it's time for a new Pokemon movie. I think it will come to theatres as well. A big event for the 30th anniversary. Yeah, it's a weird time of year for Pokemon right now because it's that calm before the storm sort of feeling. It is strange to think that Legends ZA only released not even 3 months ago. Legends ZA was alright, but it's been a much quieter release, I feel. Like, it didn't really pop off as a game. It's just been a comfortable play to fill the time. It's felt similar to when Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl released. People are playing it, but it kind of feels like a niche side game. But yeah, what are you guys looking forward to in 2026? Do you have any bold predictions of your own? Let me know down in the comments. Please do leave a like on the video while you're down there. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll catch you in the next one.